All right, everyone, welcome back to the infertility series. This is video 4. We are going to be talking about an erratic follicular phase here, an erratic estrogen phase in this 4th part. Now, remember, I'm Dr. Beth Westie, women's health and hormone expert. I am author of the book, The Female Fat Solution, Female Menopause Solution, also host of the podcast, The Female Health Solution. Make sure you subscribe to that. I've got more in-depth information on that podcast as well. But I really want to mention here again, if you're looking to learn how to eat for your hormones and your cycle, all this information is in this book, which is on Amazon. If you're looking to utilize herbs for your cycle, tinctures here available on Nutrition for Your Hormones website. And then the other thing, again, and below this video, you can click the link to learn more about the cycle mapping test here. This is just a sample of what a cycle mapping test is. It tests your hormones throughout the month. This is a Dutch test that does cycle mapping. So we do a Dutch complete and then we add in the cycle mapping piece of it. It takes longer to get the data and information, but it is so valuable because we can see exactly what your system's doing. Especially with something like an erratic follicular phase, this can be just so mentally tough to deal with because your whole system can be doing something completely different than what you think it's doing, or you're not sure. Did I ovulate here? Was it here? I'm not sure what's happening. This just takes the guesswork out of it. We see exactly what your body's doing. We see exactly what your system would be up to with this. And then we know for sure. No more guessing, no more running around, no more trying to figure it out on your own. We just get the data and go from there. So that's the most fantastic thing about getting a cycle map test. Go below this video, you can click the link, get it sent right to you. And if you have any other questions, of course, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, here we go. Diving into the erratic follicular phase. Now, this is again tracking basal body temperature. This is something we would also look at with the Dutch test as well, but we're focused on basal body temperature right now for this. So looking at this, the first couple of weeks here where your basal body temperature should be lower, see how it goes up and down? All over the place, all over the place. Oh, but then it does lower and then it elevates and it stays higher during the second 2 weeks, during that progesterone phase. Oh, that seems nice. Oh, it's fine, right? Oh, I gotta ovulate. That's gotta be ovulating. That's fine, it's good, right? No. First thing to look at is the time that the temperature is actually taken. So you should collect your basal body temperature at the same time every single morning before you get out of bed, before you drink water, before you do anything else. You wake up, you take your temperature, write it down, record it in an app or whatever, right? Do not do anything else. But realize that say you normally wake up at 6 a.m., say on a Saturday, you went out for happy hour with your girlfriends on Friday, and Saturday morning you woke up at 8. You know, just a couple hours later, that's not that big of a deal, right? Well, remember that your normal basal body temperature will actually increase by 0.2 degrees for every hour later than you normally take it. So that means if you normally take your temperature at say 6 a.m. and now you're taking it at 8 a.m., it would be at least 0.4 degrees elevated. So you can either adjust for that or just skip that data point for the week. Skip it and use all the other data points that you've collected so far for the month. So those are your kind of options there. That way it's not messing up the data or up and down. So again, the time that the temperature is taken is important. If you're not waking up at the same time, you are going to get an erratic follicular phase pattern here like this. So there is that. Other things, alcohol can actually elevate your basal body temperature in the morning when you take it. So it's important to understand that if you are drinking alcohol in this phase here, it can throw off your numbers too. Best to avoid. If you get lower sleep, decreased quality of sleep, decreased REM sleep, or deep sleep, if you wake up frequently in the middle of the night, say you're up 3 times and that's not normal for you, your temperature can be elevated more. If you woke up and you didn't get back to sleep for an hour, that can throw off your temperature. If you have more stress in your life, that can also elevate your temperature. It can throw it off. It can throw off the data points that you're collecting. If you're exercising too much. Now, I know we've talked about, this is a point where you can push your body more with exercise, but keep in mind, is this what you really want to focus on? If you're like, yeah, I want to get pregnant, I'm really working on my fertility and I'm tracking my basal body temperature to help, should you be training for a marathon? Those are 2 different focuses for your body. Or would you want to make sure that you can work out, be active, but also give yourself enough recovery time, because then your body's energy would be going towards your uterine lining versus your muscle tissue. I'm not saying you can't do both. What I'm saying is that if you are worried about having an erratic follicular phase here, those are some things to work at. Are you working out too hard and not giving yourself enough rest time? That is really important to really give yourself an honest look at. Having a bad relationship. This is something that can kind of be a hard pill for some people to swallow when they realize this. Are you in a relationship that is toxic? This can be with your significant other, right? And maybe you've been ignoring signs and signals and things like that. And you're like, I don't want it to be this. I want to have a baby. And this is the guy that I've been with for however many years and we're married and da-da-da-da-da. And maybe it'll get better after the baby. It doesn't. But yes, this can be causing that erratic follicular phase. Maybe it's not your significant other, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a different person in your life. Maybe it's a family member or a friend. But there is oftentimes, I see, and again, I'm not saying that this is it for sure, okay? So if you're like, oh my God, what? These are just things that I commonly see. Over the decade and a half that I've been doing this with the thousands of women that I've worked with, when I see this pattern, these are some of the things that have come up. I'm not saying it's you for sure. Whenever I see this, I don't automatically say, hey, there's somebody in your life, right? But it's something to consider for you to look at and be honest with yourself on. But a toxic relationship with somebody in your life and learning how to set boundaries and learning how to shift this for yourself moving forward makes a huge difference on your hormones. I've seen it happen time and time and time and time again. I had it happen with somebody this week. Yes, somebody who has been in a relationship with somebody who she's like, this is like amazing, this man is wonderful, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, so some things are popping up and I don't know if this is what I want in my life. And I was like, that you have to make a decision about, you know? These are not easy decisions, but these are things to consider when you're looking at, if you're struggling with your health and your body, the body never does anything without a reason. There is always a reason. So I'm just presenting some ideas and some things here to look at. Okay, and then the other thing to look at here is you gotta look at heart and liver. Heart and liver, stagnation, any blockage, get those channels opened, moving, everything else. And again, we want to make sure that we are doing the cooling foods here to keep that basal body temperature as low as possible, and then switch over to the warming foods, you know, using the estro balance, progestero balance, tinctures, things like that to help your system function on a regular pattern. So that's what I got for you guys today. Please let me know if you have any other questions or need any other guidance. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Go below this video. Learn more about the cycle mapping, and if you need any other help, don't hesitate to reach out.